So I have pretty much spent all of my career in media. And at the end of my time there, I was running the operation, $25 million in gross revenues, over 150 employees. So the reason for my leaving is because the CEO decided to sell the division. It was something that I was very aware of. I decided, okay, what's next? I had no real clue as to what that was going to be. So I enlisted the help of Browning and Associates to help me figure out what that would look like in my journey. Yeah.
And I was the lucky project manager who got to work with you. I was so excited to work with you. We had such a great time.
Anybody else who gets the opportunity to work with you, I'm certain they will feel the same.
The one thing I like to talk about a lot is what makes a good client. And you are a really good example of that, because you can take all of that information in and assess it and understand that's where we need to go. We need to make a shift. And you're able to accept the information or accept the coaching and not say, okay, no, I want to do it my way. You were so open to everything that I had to offer, and it just made for a great partnership between the two of us.
The reason why I felt so comfortable in being able to do that, though, was really because you have experienced so many different types of talents and been exposed to a lot of different things.
Well, what do you think was your favorite part of this whole process?
Wow. My favorite part was that when we realized that this wasn't going to be about me going into a C-suite position, and that this was really about building my own, and how you just embraced it and said, all right, let's do this, and you were asking me questions, hard questions, to make sure that I was prepared for this step, well, what really is this about? And what's your elevator speech, almost, is kind of how you were like, who is it you're going to be talking to? Let's narrow down what your offerings are going to be. You really challenged me to think about those things intentionally. And that, I think, was my favorite part, because, oftentimes I'm a salesperson by nature, right? So I'm used to competition. You pushed my buttons in ways that I was like, all right, I'm appreciating this. This is fun. It really made me think through what I really wanted, and to be able to step into it and with no initial fears. You and I know I've had sleepless nights, and you've been there to help me walk through that too. But I think it was just kind of drafting this together, what TMG Solutions Advisors was going to be.
What was your least favorite?
Wow. There's not a lot of not favorites. Every time that we had our call, I looked forward to it. I knew that you were going to ask the hard questions, or give me an assignment of something to do. And so I can't say that there was anything that was hard per se, because I think you set the right expectations up front, so that I knew what to expect. You and Michael both did a good job of that in my conversations of, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we'll go about it. Probably the hardest part, and it wasn't with you, it was with the team, was really conveying myself so that they could put it on paper. That probably was the hardest part of it all. But it was never really about you and I's relationship.
One of the things I like to say to a new client that I onboard is, consider me the Siri of job search, and I will only be as helpful to you as I know what it is you're struggling with. And it seems like you really utilized Melissa for her talents. And any potential client or new client that is listening to this podcast right now, my wishes for each individual is to approach this program with an open mind and to utilize their project manager for all of the knowledge and all the coaching that we have, because it's not a cookie cutter template. We meet the individual where they're at and with their specific needs and talents. And it just seems like the perfect pairing for the two of you. But my question for you is, when you started this program, I'm going to assume that you're like most clients and you really didn't have much of an expectation of what was going to unfold. A lot of the times when I'm talking to a potential client or a new client, they say, "What do you guys do at Browning Associates?" And I'm like, "Well, how much time do you have?" Because it is so lengthy to explain all of that we do for our clients. So in thinking back to the lack of expectation or understanding what all of this was going to entail, what was the most surprising thing that came about from this program with Melissa?
I think for me, it was the fact that you guys were willing to open your networks even to me, Melissa's personal network, and then the Browning network overall. And it just, the flooding of people reaching out and just saying, "Hey, let's talk. Let me give you perspective." That was so overwhelming to me because, most times you don't have that, but she was quick to say, "Okay, hearing this, I want you to meet this person, this person, this person," and they reached out and had conversations. And I'm so grateful that now she's calling and asking me, "Hey, would you mind talking to this person?" It's really that was a great eye-opening experience for me, just how big the network was.
Did you find that networking was incredibly helpful for you to gather important information throughout your journey to make specific decisions as to how you were routing your campaign?
Oh, absolutely. And even as it transitioned, because you have to keep in mind, at first we weren't certain exactly if I was looking to go C-suite, leadership into a corporate setting, and then it transitioned to, yeah, no, I'm ready to go this direction. And the fact that we were capable of pivoting real quickly to even the network of people that I was talking to was very impressive. I absolutely appreciated that. So yeah, I found that process probably to be, well, there's so many invaluable things about what the relationship has been, but that was one that I've continued to make sure I practice, is continuing to build the network, be it with fellow Browning peers of mine as they go, but even beyond that, and making sure I'm referring people, that are going through similar things as I had. You should probably reach out. I think that this is an organization that makes sense for you to kind of find your way and know what you really want. Hey, this experience with Melissa has really been genuinely something that I have appreciated, and it's truly a friendship that I probably will never be able to experience to that level again.